Once it's lined up with the main carriage, we got to figure out how much distance we need from the head block to the foot block. And how we adjust for that, we move the head block. So this whole big piece right here can be moved up or down to accommodate whatever size log we bring in. Once we got that distance figured out, once again, we're going to use our bridge blocks, this time going from the cart to the carriage, roll the log into place, hammer our log dogs in, that's what these heavy metal spikes are called, and then we can begin cutting. First cut we make, we do what's called a skim cut, and that's basically what we're working on right now, skim cut. You'll start at the far end, cut down to the last 6 inches. Now the reason why you don't want to go beyond that 6 inches is because of those log dogs. They'll go in 3 to 6 inches. And if you go beyond that 6-inch mark, you could ruin your sawmill. You don't want to do that. You don't want to have any downtime at all, because if you have any downtime at all, you're going to lose money. The only way you make money in here is by cutting wood. So if you're not cutting, you're not making any wood. They didn't cut wood and sell lumber, they just cut the wood up for you. So you don't want to have any downtime at all, because you don't want to lose any time, and you never knew how long your cutting season was going to last. Starts once the ice melts off the mill pond, can only go as long as you have 3 feet of water out there, and if the water refreezes, you can no longer cut either, so you just cut as much as you can, and try not to have any downtime at all. So you really pay attention to the rhythm of the blade. You're going to make sure it's well lubricated, belts sharp, blades sharp, and belts are tight. Now we run on water power, and since we run on water power, we need water to get it running, and that's what this wheel right here is for. Once we start turning this wheel, it opens up the doors on the top of our turbine, because we operate with a water turbine instead of a water wheel. Turbines were brand new technology in the 1840s, and when they built the first mill here in 1847, they decided to go with that brand new technology rather than install a big vertical paddle wheel, which is a lot more cumbersome and required a lot more maintenance than a water turbine does, but works kind of the same way. But instead of having vertical power like you would with a water wheel, you have horizontal power with the turbine. So water comes down the mill race, turns, dumps into the turbine. As it passes through the turbine, it exits out the bottom. But as long as we got water passing through that turbine, there's wheels inside that are constantly turning. We harness the energy of that rotation to a series of gears and wheels and belts that brings the power into the building and gives us the energy to cut our wood. So I'm going to go ahead and get it started here. Once it gets going, we increase the water flow, which will increase the speed of the saw. Once it gets up to the speed that you want, then you're ready to engage the carriage. How I do that? I pull this lever down. As I pull that lever down, we pull the wooden wheel into the leather belt, causing the carriage to go forward. And as it moves forward, it cuts into the wood. it so I can move the log over to my next cut. Now I'm going to shut it down. Now to detach it, I'm going to use a wedge. That's how we get that out of there. And now I'm ready to roll this over. And tomorrow we'll be cutting the next skin cut.